Hey y'all, welcome back to my modern homestead. For those of you who are new here, my name is Janet, and today I'm going to step outside of my comfort zone and we're going to attempt a pie. Y'all, if you've been around here for very long, you know that baking's not really my thing, but my husband has been begging for a pecan pie. So, deep breath, we're gonna do this thing. Now, my secret ingredient, because I've got a big supper planned, y'all. We're going to do a dish called barbecue meatballs. They're not really barbecue. I still haven't figured out why they call them that. But some mashed potatoes and some fried squash, and what else did they say? Oh, they wanted cream corn to go with that. So, in order to save some time, I'm also going to use a pre-made pie crust. I was about to say pre-baked. And a lot of recipes I have seen for pecan pie do call for a pre-baked pie crust. You know, just a pie crust you throw in the oven, then pour the stuff in. But this one specifically states an unbaked pie crust. So, one less thing I gotta do, huh? But y'all, this is a recipe I'm taking from the book that I got in Montezuma. Now, I used to spend a lot of time in Montezuma, Georgia, and I still have so many precious friends there. And this is the Mennonite cookbook. And I actually went to church. At that time, they weren't Mennonite. They had come out of the Mennonite church. But I went to church with the lady who put this cookbook together. And I know so many of the people who have recipes in this cookbook. So that cookbook has a dear place in my heart because I still love all my friends there. So anyway, let's get these ingredients together and let's get this pie done. I'm trying to hurry because the guys are out working in the shop and I want this to be a surprise for supper tonight. So you ready? Let's go. Okay, so if you know me and you've been here, you know the first order of business is always, for me, the apron, because I can get a little messy sometimes. Okay, I've already got out 2 eggs and they need to be slightly beaten. So let's get those. Okay, we've got our 2 eggs. And then we need 1 cup of light Karo syrup. You know, if you don't have light and you only have dark, just use it. It'll be all right. This recipe calls for 1 cup of light brown sugar. Well, you all, my light brown sugar is not open and my dark brown sugar is, and it's okay if it has a little bit more maple flavor. It'll be all right. So we're just using dark brown sugar. And we're actually going to use maple extract. Okay, then we need 2 teaspoons of melted butter and 1 cup of chopped pecans. And y'all, where we have moved to, we've got a bunch of pecan trees. Pecan. I don't know how you say it. There's no right or wrong, just say it. These things. So we need 1 cup of those in. So this year, I'm hoping that I can actually do my own pecans. All right, the last thing we need, let's see, we've got 2 eggs, light Karo syrup, 1 cup. I need 1/8 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of light brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of butter melted, and 1 teaspoon each of vanilla and maple flavorings, and 1 cup of chopped pecans. So there we go. Let me go grab the salt and we'll put this together. I'm not going to mess up anything else to put this salt in, so we're going to put 1/8 of a teaspoon right there. Now let's go ahead and put our pie crust into the pie plate. And y'all, I love homemade pie crust. It's really easy, but I'm just in a hurry. I don't have a lot of time. So this will do just as well. And these are so easy, and they get pretty and crispy and bubbly. So all you do is just let it unthaw. Then you take your pie plate. It does not have to be greased. And you just gently unroll this. And then you just drop it down into your pie plate. Just like that. I like these edges all pretty and frilly like that. What do y'all think? Make sure you get it up against those edges really well. Make sure your hands are clean. Don't want any dirty hands in this recipe. All right. There we go. Now, I'm not going to get super fancy with these edges because super fancy and pies are just not my thing. I'm not a pie baker. I'm not going to pretend I am. So we're just going to lay them in there. Pinch it around a little bit and we're going to call it good, y'all. As long as it tastes good, that's all that matters. I mean, to some. Guess if doing pies is your thing, you're probably having a stroke than I'm doing a messy pie crust. And again, it'll be all right. We'll both live. Okay, is that too much of a crumb against pie? I hope not. All right, now all of the ingredients are ready to go. And this says to just combine the ingredients and pour them in the thing. That's all the instructions we have. So Miss Eli Kauffman, I don't know her, but if one of my friends in Montezuma is watching and you know her, tell her I said thank you for this recipe. And there are lots of pecan pie recipes in that book. It just says slightly beaten. Well, there we go. They're slightly beaten. So we're going to add 1 cup of Karo syrup. Can you see that? I wonder, could we spray this with vegetable oil like you do for honey? Let's see, why not? I should have thought about that sooner, huh? All right, well, that'd be good enough. And our salt and our brown sugar, and those are all ready together. Give that a little stir. I hope this works, y'all. I hope I can get it done before the guys come in and they catch me. Y'all ever be sneaky in the kitchen? Y'all ever be sneaky? Is that right? That's not right, is it? That doesn't sound like good English. Oh well. Do y'all ever try to be sneaky? Just trying to get out some of those bigger lumps. Do lumps matter in a pie like a cake? I imagine they do, but I don't know. Okay, let's see. 2 teaspoons of melted butter. Hello, melted butter. Y'all have heard there's a shortage on butter and milk. Now go get you some just in case. I don't know. I like to can my own. I've got some canned still. I'm trying to build back up my supply to can more. Alright. And then I'm not going to measure my extracts. It's about a teaspoon for both. Ooh, that was a little much, huh? It'll be alright. It's just pie. It's just pie. Teaspoon of vanilla. That's my homemade vanilla that I made with bourbon and Madagascar beans. Mix those in. And all that's left are our nuts. I just ordered some more beans to make more. I I've got a jar. It's ready to be bottled up, but I like to keep some going. That way I don't ever run out. Ooh, this is looking pretty, y'all. Okay, let's pour in the nuts. Mix those in. Y'all, this is so easy. If I'd known it was this easy, I'd have time to make the pie crust. Goodness gracious. And y'all, for that pie crust, I use Ina Garten's pie crust. It has never ever failed me, and that's the one I always use. So if you want to make your own, go look it up. She has a video for it, as well as the written recipe. So it says to pour it in here in an unbaked crust. You know what? I didn't set my timer on in my oven. Hold on. Gracious, y'all. I'm so glad that thing heats up quick. Anyway, get all this goodness out. Don't waste it. Don't worry about them raw eggs. Woo! That's good. That's good, y'all. Oh my goodness, that's good. Okay, let's let the oven heat up. While that's doing that, I'm going to clean up some of this dirty stuff, and we'll be right back to put it in the oven. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is just attempt to cover the edges of this pie so that they won't burn before the pie is done. Just lightly cover them. Mercy, how do y'all do this? Goodness gracious. We're pretending, right? We're pretending we know what we're doing. This will fall off or ever get it to the oven. Y'all bear with me. We'll get this done and we'll be right back. Okay, here we go. The directions say to put it in a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes and then turn it down to 300 and bake it for 45 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. Let's see if this works. Okay, now while that's going, I'm going to flip over a few pages and I'm going to go ahead and put together these meatballs for supper. Again, they're called barbecue meatballs, but there's no barbecue sauce on them. But I love this recipe. I've made it before. If I can remember, I'll stick it up here in the cards and y'all can click on that link if you want to see how they're made. That is, if I actually did it on this channel. I can't remember if I did or not. If I didn't, I'll come back another day and do it for you. Okay, y'all, I got to thinking, I'm really worried I didn't do this on this channel. So what I'm going to do is show you basically how to do it. We start with 3 pounds of hamburger meat, whichever kind is your favorite, it doesn't matter. And then to that, we're going to add 1 can of evaporated milk. Okay, y'all, I remember the first time I had these, we had gone to church at Word of Life in Montezuma, and we were invited to lunch by one of the church members, and she served these, y'all. Oh my goodness. I thought I had died in that church service and had gone to heaven. Not really, but it really was good. To that, we add, the recipe calls for 2 cups of quick cook oats, but I only have the old-fashioned, so I'm just adding 1.5 cups. And then 2 eggs. Bless you. And then we need to chop up 1 cup of onions, and we'll do the pepper later. I just need 1 cup of onions for this. Now you've been cooking for a minute or two when you chop off just the right amount of onion from a great big old onion and come up with the 1 cup you need. So there's our 1 cup. Let's add those in. Now we need some garlic powder and salt and pepper and chili powder. For this recipe, you add in 2 teaspoons of salt, then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. I like a little extra, not much more. Then we need a 1/2 teaspoon of black ground pepper. And then I'm guessing this is why they call this barbecue. You need 2 teaspoons of chili powder. And that's all for the actual meatballs. Let's mix it up. Okay. Then, I normally do this with bare hands, but I know I'm about to have to deal with that pie, so I'm using gloves today. All you do is just get in here, mix it up really well, and then we'll form the balls. Y'all, it pulls my glove off every time. I've got little fat fingers, but my hands are actually small with short fingers. Okay, the timer is just about to go off, so I'm going to turn the oven down to 300 degrees, and then we'll let it go for 45 minutes. All right, y'all ready to make some meatballs? Oh, that sounded so country. I'm so sorry. Are you ready to put together some meatballs? Oops, put a hole in my glove. All right, so never tried this with gloves, but I want this to work. So you just get about that much, and there's your meatball. That's all there is to that, y'all. And you just keep going till they're all made. I've cooked too long without gloves. They came off. I had to get my hands in there. Okay, y'all. Now, I have 15 of these meatballs in this pan, and then I have another 8 over here in this bowl that I will cook separately, and we'll have these to go in the freezer for another day. This is a great recipe to make. Double it, and you make a good freezer meal or 2 to put away for a rainy day or a family that needs a meal, or a day when you need a quick meal. Anyway, let me go wash these hands and we'll do the topping. Y'all know what? I forgot to put Worcestershire in that, but that's okay. Not gonna worry about that. Now, for this topping, if you know anything about Amish or Mennonite cooking, they tend to like things really sweet. Now, this topping, I actually like it the way it's written, but my son does not. And I don't actually need all this sugar, so I'm cutting back. It calls for 1.5 cups of brown sugar. I'm just using 1/2 cup. And then we need 2 cups of ketchup. Y'all, that pie is looking and smelling amazing. So to do this, I just take off the top completely and pour it into the measuring cup. I won't bore you with this part. Okay, somebody's coming in the door, but there is the ketchup. Now I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1/2 cup of onions. Garlic powder totally forgot I had chopped onions in the refrigerator. So I'm just going to use these so I don't have to stop and chop more. There's a half a cup. That's a little too much. And voila, done. Let's just mix it up. Now, just because I can, just a couple of shakes of the Worcestershire sauce. Use your fork, break up that brown sugar, and give it a good mix. Now, I've been making this recipe for years, and I've never had a problem with my brown sugar clumping, but for whatever reason, it wants to clump today. I guess because I'm in a hurry and I'm trying to record this for y'all, but it's going to be okay. I think it'll melt in the oven. So what you do is just take some and cover each meatball. See, there's a big old clump right there. Get out there. Again, I'm not going to bore you with this. There we go, y'all. These are ready, except that we need to bake them at 350 degrees for at least an hour or until done. You don't have to cover them. They will be just fine. The pie actually has 20 minutes left, so we're just going to clean up and let these hang out until we can get the pie out of the oven. One quick note, you might have remembered me talking about a bell pepper at the beginning. I got my recipes confused. I confused that with my meatloaf recipe. This does not have bell pepper, but my meatloaf recipe does. Okay, we had enough time. I went ahead and got these ready. We have time to cook them. I will. If not, they'll go right in the freezer. Sorry about that noise. Alyssa's being gracious enough to wash up that bowl for me. Okay, change of menu. Remember when we did all of that corn last summer? So we're going to have some of that, but we're going to do cabbage. We've been eating so much squash, so just semi-homemade tonight. The timer is just about to go off. I'm so excited. Oh, look, y'all. Oh my goodness, we did a pecan pie. Now, let's get the meatballs in the oven. It's still bubbling from the oven. Oh, it looks great. But the true test will be when my husband tries it. If he likes it, it's a winner. Here we go, y'all. Everything is ready for supper. We have our barbecue meatballs, mashed potatoes, corn from the garden, and cabbage. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. You know I love it when you come and spend a few minutes with me. I hope you enjoyed the meal. Until we meet again, may you be blessed. Love you guys. Okay, moment of truth. Is it really?
Yeah. It's good, though.
Thank you.